Welcome to another episode of Sub-Auteurs. We are excited and about to geek out. We have an action-packed episode for you today, and we even have a special guest. But first, before we get to that, we are your hosts. I'm Misha.
I'm Anjo.
Mayi's not here.
It's too nerdy for her. So, let's introduce our guest, Misha.
Teka lang, ano ibig sabihin noon, too nerdy for her? What does that say about us? Ang sama mo naman. Parang minamaliit mo tayo.
What's wrong with being a nerd? It's 2022, man.
Fine.
Ano ba?
I prefer geek. And speaking of geeks, we have a very qualified geek with us here today. Please welcome to the show, si Earl Maghirang. He is joining us to talk about Dragon Ball Superhero. Welcome to the show, Earl.
Woo! Alright, hi guys.
Yay!
Hi, how are you doing?
Ito, buhay
Good
pa.
evening, good morning, and good night sa inyong lahat.
Nax Truman Show.
Yes.
Kamusta naman, sir? Parang ang dami nating laruan sa likod mo.
Konti pa yan, hindi pa nakikita yung kabilang side. Okay lang, I'm doing good naman. So far, medyo may hangover pa rin ako ng Dragon Ball. So kaya nga ako nahatak dito eh.
Akala ko hangover from something else, pero
Ayoko. It's mahirap ma-hangover.
can't recover as fast as before.
Nope.
In my experience, it's like that. Ganun na.
Tumatanda na tayo, ito yung generation natin na hindi na
Kayo
natin
lang yun, excuse you.
Kalabaw na tumatanda pero aminin mo, yung hangover mo hindi na ganun gano. Hindi mo na natitreat tulad dati.
Parang 3 weeks recovery na siya. Hindi na parang right off the bat, kaya mo na uminom ulit.
Pero aminin natin, kahit sabihin natin tumatanda na tayo lahat, this movie is very nostalgic and will make you feel young. Kaya exciting yung pag-uusapan natin today. We're going to be covering Dragon Ball Superhero. Cue the music. Wow. What can you guys say about Dragon Ball Superhero?
My thoughts?
In your heart, in your mind.
In my heart, in my mind. Kasi ako, I grew up watching the cartoons. I think nag-start pa yun sa RPN 9 before it was even called RPN 9. So yun, doon ako nag-start. And I didn't start sa Dragon Ball. I started sa Dragon Ball Z. So it was
Talaga?
Goku. Yeah, so Z na ako nag-start. Kasi but the cartoon is older than me. So yun, the manga is older than me. So that's where I started. So parang, being familiar with everything, with all the story arcs hanggang sa Dragon Ball Super, and I'm updated with all the movies up to Broly. Parang this felt super nostalgic, and there was something a little bit cathartic about this movie, which I'll get into later when we go into spoiler town. Pero first thoughts. As with all Dragon Ball movies, it's super fan servicey. This was a lot of fun. Tapos, parang sa akin, it was one of the greatest love stories to one of the most beloved characters in the manga and anime.
Love story talaga.
So, sobrang siya, I feel like parang na siyang tinaboy or na-bury na siya under the Goku and Vegeta show.
Okay. Okay. Fair. Ikaw, Earl, ano sabi mo? What was going through your head paglabas natin ng Columbia screening room? Thank you, by the way, to our friends at Columbia Pictures Philippines for inviting all of us. We had a great time. Earl, what did you think?
Yes. Ayun. So, paglabas, iniisip ko ba magsisimba ba? Kasi Sunday afternoon yun eh. So, iniisip ko, magsisimba na ba kami? Magbibihis na ba ako? Kasi usually, nung Sunday afternoon, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock ang Dragon Ball. So, may simba after. So, yun yung iniisip ko eh. Teka lang. Tapos na-realize ko, wait, matanda na ako. Adult na ako. So, hindi na pala uso yun. Yun yung
okay lang. Matay naman si Goku, may halo siya eh. So, bagay pa naman sa church and stuff.
Ganun ka nostalgic para sa akin yun. Parang it brought you, it's not just an experience na you're gonna watch and then yun. Ito parang may alam mo yung kay Ratatouille na pagkain ni yung author
yes.
ng
Yes.
Parang ganun Parang
yung pagkagat ng critic, di ba?
Oo, parang
yes,
ganun
yes.
Yun yung experience ko dun eh. So parang medyo malalim yung impact ng movie. Especially since, again, medyo, mamaya we'll dive into that. Pero hindi siya si, sabi nga, hindi siya si Goku and Vegeta show eh. It's touching on everybody's lives during this time. So, napakaganda, especially kung fan ka in a general sense ng series, hindi lang ni Goku or ni Vegeta. So, parang, ano siya eh, parang, uy, thank you, naalala niyo to ah. Parang, uy, ano to, salamat naman na binalikan niyo lahat ng mga to. So yun, parang super ganda para sa akin. Yun yung ano sa akin eh.
So parang yung nasabi mo nga yung salamat na para sa akin parang finally, after mga 20 years of waiting, you know? Parang ganun yung dating niya. It's like, uy, sa wakas. Yun.
Ako, I agree with you guys. Doon din ako simula sa RPN 9, Dragon Ball, pinapanood ko bago lumipat ng Dragon Ball Z dyan sa may GMA 7. Yung gabi-gabi, di ba? Pinapanood, inaabangan mo kung saan magmo-monologue muna sila for like 6 days before they throw a single punch. Pero yung masaya nga dito is this takes you right back into it kahit wala kang alam dun sa mga storylines na ongoing. Kasi aminado ko, hindi ako current sa Dragon Ball Super. Hindi ko alam kung ano nangyari sa current season. Pero nag-enjoy pa rin ako like crazy. And it's hard to believe kasi parang 21 animated movies na yung Dragon Ball. And for the most part, wala silang kinalaman sa continuity except for the last 2 or 3. So this is happening now habang last 4. So kung alam mo yung nangyayari kila Goku, kila Vegeta ngayon, you'll have a good time. Pero kahit hindi mo alam kung ano nangyayari sa buhay nila, you will still have a good time just because you love these characters. Kaya ang saya talaga. Nostalgia trip. So Anjo, kwento naman, what the hell is this movie about? What is Dragon Ball Z? What is Dragon Ball Superhero about?
Basically, this is when it starts getting fan service. Kasi intro pa lang, meron na tayong, you know, we are given a recap of what happened during the Cell Saga, who Dr. Gero was, and what androids he created, including Cell. Then afterwards, you know, we go into the present na we find out meron pala siyang apo who is this genius who's supposedly smarter than him, who's also an otaku of sorts kasi he loves superheroes. So that's his dream. He fashioned himself as a superhero builder, superhero android builder or scientist na misguided. So lo and behold, may mga crazy shenanigans like that involves one of the oldest evil organizations in the series, the Red Ribbon Army. We're going back to like Dragon Ball, the first group of bad people or evil people in the series. Yung kalaban pa ni Goku nung bata pa siya. So that's quite interesting because it's the first time in how many years? 30 years or more since we've seen them in any of the Dragon Ball stories. And then we find out that Piccolo's starting to train Gohan's daughter, Pan. It's nice to see her in actual canon this time, not in GT. Oh God. Buti lang napura na yung GT. But, so,
nakita natin yung plushie collection ni Piccolo.
Ay, oo. So, we find out na may plushie collection so na hindi niya alam bakit siya may collection na bigla. Tsaka yun. So, Pan is very pivotal in the story kasi she gets, you know, parang, but as we go through the story, the Red Ribbon Army supposedly wanted to hire Dr. Jedo's services to be able to control the world kasi mayaman nga sila. Diba? They wanted all the resources at their disposal. So misguided super genius si Dr. Jedo. He builds these 2 androids to help lure the super science.
Gamma 2.
Gamma 1 and Gamma 2 who can't help but pose every single time that they fight.
Mukha silang can I just say, mukha silang anak ni One Punch Man tsaka si Cyborg 009.
Tama. Perfect description. So yung panalo
nila eh.
Ang panalo sa kanila is every time they hit somebody, meron silang mga sound effects na lumalabas na likod. Kasi
like old Batman.
Yeah. At one point na nakasutukan na ni Piccolo si Gamma 2, the first encounter they had, he even says na parang,
Why are there words coming out?
Why are there words coming out after every punch? So ganun ka nerd or ganun ka otaku or geek si Dr. Jedo that he actually built in those things like I don't know, that's just my theory that he like hologram projectors for every punch may sound effects na lumalabas. That's kind of cool.
Mo
Okay, yeah, I mean like pinag-isipan ko talaga. It's kind of cool din eh, di ba? So Piccolo does some crazy super spy shit that we never expected. I didn't expect it. So he did all these
Alam mo, Piccolo is the worst spy. Sinasabi ko ngayon.
He is. Pero okay lang that he's the worst spy because everybody in the Dragon Ball universe is kind of stupid to avoid. And we all don't mind.
Malamang idol nila si Mr. Satan eh.
The biggest con in anime history.
I love Mr. Satan. He's not even in this movie pero may shout out.
People still think he's the greatest fighter, di ba? Up until this point.
Nilarank nila nilarank siya as number 1, number 2 lang si Goku. Parang yun na, di ba? Tawa dun eh.
I can believe that.
Mr. Satan.
So they find out the schemes, or Piccolo rather, with his super spy skills, finds out the schemes and actual plot of the Red Ribbon Army to overtake the world. Tapos, so it gets Pan into it that pretend to get kidnapped by the Red Ribbon Army, even though she completely overpowers her kidnappers in the best way possible. And then after that was one way for them to trigger Gohan. And then lo and behold, ayun na, all the fun stuff, all Dragon Ball fans wait for naman. Every single movie is when the brawl starts with all these androids and stuff. And then we find out na meron din palang reincarnation of Cell. Cell Max. Yung mukhang Christmas ipis na green and red in color. Binalo ko kay Misha while watching it. Like, siyang Christmas ipis. So yun.
Na malaki.
Totoo. Na inimbento ni Baby Gru. So,
yes. So yun, worst nightmare ng maraming tao. Kasi diba? Flying ipis na malaki. Anyway.
Walang totoong lalaki pagdating lumilipad ng ipis.
Yun. So obviously, the good guys win with some losses. The end of the Dragon Ball movie.
And the post-credit.
The best. Ito pinakamagandang post-credit movie ever. And after all the post-credit scenes we've seen in the MCU and even in some DC movies, ito Toei animation takes the cake.
Ayos. Anong sasabi niyo dun sa yung animation natin? Because this is the first time that we're seeing full 3D in a Dragon Ball animated movie. Nakakaaliw eh. From what I saw. I mean, sanay na tayo like on the PlayStation, yung mga games, yung Fighter Z, diba? It's 3D pero may 2D cell shading to make it look like the old cartoons. Pero ngayon, it's the first time we're seeing that used dito sa big screen. What do you guys think of Dragon Ball's new look?
Ako, I think it's okay, pero maraming fans ang hindi pa sanay. So this is going to be probably a little bit jarring for them. I mean, kasi yun nga sabi mo, si Fighter Z is one genre.
Yeah,
then,
game. Yeah.
The game, and then this is a movie, this is an anime series. So and I expect natin it's 2D flat with all the lights and the effects. Pero now we get injected with something a little more tangible, so to speak. So parang para sa ako kasi for the first fight yung kay Piccolo and kay Gamma, parang medyo teka lang, bakit iba to? As compare mo dun sa kay Broly, which I still think is the top Dragon Ball super movie ever.
Yung nauna dito.
Yes.
So for that one kasi medyo nag-i-inject lang sila ng konti, hindi mo masyadong mahalata eh. Ito ngayon full on regalia na sila ng 3D animation.
Right.
Okay lang sa akin, and I actually may part doon, and siguro di naman siya spoiler, pero may part doon na kung 2D siya, hindi mo ma-appreciate like yung lumilipad si Pan na naka-POV yung scene. Nagte-technical na tayo. Nag-POV siya, tapos kita mo yung pagka 3D nung scene na yon. I feel na kung 2D animation yung ginamit doon, medyo flat, medyo sakto lang. Pero because it's an important scene for this character, it's a character growth, it's a development. Malaking impact yung 3D na yung tapos yung mga nakuha mo yung mga spins niya and yung mga subtle hints nung ikot ni Pan throughout the camera. It's so good. Doon pa lang makikita mo na Pero yun nga lang, kung long time fan ka, kailangan mo rin tanggapin sa sarili mo na nag-e-evolve na rin si Dragon Ball. Kaya nga tayo nasa Super na eh. So, tanggapin mo na.
Fair. And yan yung parang wild para sa akin. Kasi nung nagsimula yung manga, Dragon Ball was essentially like a comedic take on Journey to the West, the old Chinese folktale. Pero as they went on, dahil si Toriyama really, really likes comedy, silly stuff. He's done Dr. Slump and yun nga, puro slapstick and sci-fi. Lahat na lang ng mga influence niya, pinasok niya eh. Pero napansin niya, yung pumatok talaga na issues is the ones where he had fights. So when he did the sequel, when he did Dragon Ball Z, it was all about the fighting. And para sa akin, seeing it now in 3D, nakakaaliw siya eh. Because like, parang tama ka eh na nag-evolve siya from what we know. Pero in fairness sa kanila, nandun pa rin yung, I mean, badly put nandun pa rin yung puso ng lumang animation. Like yung fight ni Goku tsaka ni Vegeta, nung nagtitraining, sparring sila habang pinapanood sila ni Beerus na naghahanap ng ice cream, wala siyang pakialam sa kanila. You know, when Goku and Vegeta were fighting and they were flying all over the screen, I felt like I was like, 7 years old again. Ang saya panoorin.
Absolutely have to agree. Kasi sa akin parang at first, the animation style that that they chose parang 3D pa rin siya sa 3D, pero it wasn't as bad or hindi siya, parang it was a more subtle animation style. Parang that kind of transition for me, that it transitioned the previous movie into this type of animation style. Parang medyo seamless for me kasi nung una I had to confirm pa kay Misha, binulong ako sa 3D ba to pinapanood ko? Parang 3D ka to. Parang okay to. It was one of the best ways to transition for me. Kasi parang hindi siya it doesn't look like the typical 3D anime that we've seen so far. Kasi ito, kinuha nila yung style that they use, I guess, in games na matches the 2D look and applied it for a live action movie na it just made everything more detailed. Kasi actually, over the past weekend, I watched The Resurrection of Frieza. I watched also Battle of the Gods. The most recent movies. I watched nag-review ako kasi parang yun nga, na-trigger ako ng movie na to kasi it made me feel nostalgic. So parang I need to see the last 3 movies. Kasi so parang it just shows like everything, the backgrounds in full detail, which I really appreciated on a visual standpoint kasi parang kita mo lahat eh. And it just brings out the world that they live in more. So I would have to agree na as a long-time fan, it could be jarring for some, but for me, I guess it was seamless. So parang okay, it just parang natural progression na siya. Kasi parang you did also mention yung how they animated Broly na it was one of the most smooth. It was one of the smoothest animations I've seen in a Dragon Ball movie kasi at that, when was that? Mga 20. It was produced in 2018. So parang, I've never seen a Dragon Ball movie look like this. Kasi trailer pa lang nun, they showed like, yung teaser pa lang, yung parang brief suntukan nila with Broly. Parang, iba dating na ito sobrang smooth. And then they come up with superheroes. It's like, wow, Dragon Ball has come really far. You can just tell how long and how much the series has gone through. Na parang, okay.
May tanong ako. Speaking of come so far, parang how much time has passed between Dragon Ball Z and now? Or kahit yung lumang Dragon Ball and now? Sa series, gaano katagal na ba?
Hindi ko alam to be
fair. Or, kasi tumanda na si Goku, may anak na siya, tumanda na si Gohan, may anak na.
May apo na nga si Goku eh.
Ayun nga
40 siguro, 40 years.
Okay, fine. Sabihin natin 40 years. Ba't hindi pa alam ng mga tao na may mga aliens sa Earth na may mga lumilipad?
Tsaka nag-champion si Goku doon sa tournament. Bakit hindi nila na piece together na this is the guy who beat Cell?
Diba?
Don't they remember also the old King Piccolo? Who tried to kill, tried to take over the Earth also. Tapos bigla siya merong apo. Apo ba or anak?
Anak yata. Yung nasa egg.
Anak. Yeah.
Anak.
Who is the current Piccolo?
Yes. Which I think is hilarious kasi parang lahat na nagiging kalaban nila in Dragon Ball eventually nagiging kaibigan nila at some point.
Yeah, I mean like si Frieza nga naging teammate pa nila in Dragon Ball Super.
Tsaka may mga one-shots silang nilalabas na anime around 2010 or maybe 2007 siguro na parang it's a short special. Si Avocado yung dalawang parang science character. Si Avo and si Kado. So parang naglaban sila and in the end parang sinama na nila sa piece nila. So this is after Majin Buu Saga and before Super. So parang bata pa sila Goten noon. So yun yung So parang mahilig sila talaga sa mga ganung klaseng element na ano eh. At the end of the day, it's the power of friendship that saves us.
Of course! Because it's never about fighting.
Kanila
Parang
icing lang yung
karate
fighting.
kid lang. Parang si Mr. Miyagi lang yan. You learn karate, so you don't use karate. Pero kung kailangan yung makipagsuntukan, make it awesome. So,
Kaya nga ang saya ng Cobra Kai series. Pero that's a different conversation.
Iba na yun.
Iba na yun. Balik tayo sa Hadouken.
Sige, balik tayo kay superhero. So, I really like na for all intents and purposes, yung bida nitong pelikula na to ay si Piccolo and si Gohan to some degree.
Yeah.
And it's just fun, because it's showing yung domestic life nila na de facto babysitter si Piccolo, which I love.
Para siyang lolo. Kasi yung lolo na sumusundo nung apo. Kasi
Yeah.
ganun
Kasi busy yung parents.
Yung tatay ko ganun eh. Sinusundo yung anak ko. So, parang ganun nakikita ko na sinusundo sa tapos tatawagan. Pwede bang pakisundo kasi may pasok ako. Ganun. So nakaka-relate ako dun sa level na yun eh.
Gusto ko nga, parang I'm trying to, now, try kong kopyahin yung paano paghawak ni Piccolo ng telepono eh.
Yung ganun.
Yung
Yung nakasabit sa, yung hindi siya yung hawak na palm up, parang nakasabit lang na gano'n yung paghawak.
May cat ears kasi yung
Oo.
cellphone case niya, kaya hawak niya yung
Cellphone
cat
case niya,
ears.
pusa.
So
Hindi
parang,
lang siya ni Bidel.
yun talaga yung trademark Akira Toriyama na may action pero littered with humor everywhere. Kahit yung yung ultimong cellphone case ni Piccolo na, guys,
Tapos, tuwing nakikiusap sila to pick up their kid, di ba? Bilang ka namin ng plush toy. Parang, sino ba nagsabi? Hindi gusto ko ng plush toy.
Sabay ipakita nung isang mountain ng plush toy sa gilid ng bahay niya.
ay nako. My God.
So, yeah.
Tsaka nilalait nila si Lilin, so parang masaya na naman yun.
Yes!
Si Misha kasi sinumpawi kasi
Gago!
kami.
Okay. Eh, saya nun So, nandyan si Gamma 1, si Gamma 2, and they're fighting si Gohan, tsaka si Piccolo. Tapos, lalabas na si Cell Max. The world is gonna end, and who should show up but the Z Fighters? And we're here to help! Except Krillin.
Security
Hindi.
guard.
Kasi kung hindi mo ilalagay doon si Krillin, sinong tatangay kay Bulma? Diba? Pero kasi hindi naman siya yung pinaka-walang kwentang Z-Fighter. Alam naman natin lahat kung sino pinaka-walang kwenta. It's Yamcha.
It's Yamcha.
The guy who shows
Zero
up
kill
and...
count.
Exactly. Actually, hindi. Yung kill count niya negative kasi siya yung namamatay eh.
Gago.
Siya yung laging binubuhay ng Dragon Ball eh. Ay, no.
Walang hiya kayo.
True though.
It's true.
It's true.
Can we talk about the characters? Kasi yung nagustuhan ko dito is, even if like sila Goku, sila Vegeta, they're only in this thing for like what? 10 minutes max na yun
Yan ang fan service.
Kasama na yung laban nila. Yeah, but that is fantastic fan service. And you still have the original voice actor, si Masako Nozawa. She is 85 years old and she's still Goku.
Goku, Gohan, and Goten.
Yes, all of them. And
All of them.
And they're all horrible. And yeah, at least 2/4 of those are horrible parents. Pero yung masaya doon is parang it just hits you in the feels, honestly. Just hearing all these characters. Alam ko nasa super sila lahat. Fine. Pero just seeing your childhood heroes like on the big screen with modern animation at yun pa rin ginagawa ni Vegeta, just trying to see who's better. Parang wala, heaven. Sobrang heaven.
Oh, it was enough for me. It was super fun for me kasi Gohan is my favorite character in Dragon Ball. Tapos, to him for have his moment, kasi parang the whole series, laging, you have the potential to be the strongest. And parang, at certain points of the story, he was already stronger than Goku at some point in a lot of storylines. Tapos, he'll fall short because he gets overconfident most of the time. A lot of the time. So, ayun, they addressed it here also. So parang to him have his time in the sun, man, enjoy. Super nag-enjoy ako talaga.
Pero tama si Piccolo. Wait a minute, question. So people of Earth don't know na may aliens. Paano sinusundo ni Piccolo palagi si Pan?
Kaya
Kasi
siya may...
diba, there are dogs and dog-faced people there and there are cat people there. So,
O sa ano si Piccolo? Alien
I don't
face
know.
people?
Point, ito malupit na
Sci-fi
tanong.
man?
Oh, go.
Ito yung malupit. Kung si Piccolo alien, ano si Chaozu?
Anak ng tipaklong.
Oo nga.
Or si Majin Buu na pwede tumambay sa swimming pool. Kaya hindi siya tumulong dito.
Kaya hindi siya tumulong. Hibernation daw siya.
That's convenient.
Okay, point taken. Mukha rin na siyang alien eh. Si Chaozu, hindi ko alam, mukha siyang Chinese vampire or whatever.
Baka. Actually, nobody bothered to ask that question. Pero yes.
Ever since I was 5 years old, I didn't know what Chaozu was. So, yun lang.
Nakakatawa lang kasi parang ano tawag doon, parang namimili talaga sila what people remember or what they don't remember because these people have literally destroyed cities, deserts, mountains, volcanoes, moons habang lumalaban sila and nobody knows
entire worlds.
Nobody knows na may mga halimaw, may mga alien, may mga super saiyan dito sa planeta. But anyways, ikaw Earl, who's your favorite character in this?
For this, si Piccolo and si Gamma 2. Si Gamma 2 was, I wasn't expecting to like Gamma 2 kasi he's cocky, he's the arrogant superhero, tapos biglang pagdating ng Eni parang, why? And we don't have to spoil, pero why Gamma 2, why? May character development and all the expositions was between him and Piccolo, yung major expositions like yung misguided or fake news sila on why they should take down Goku's team. So parang tapos you can sincerely see na nag-change of heart sila. You can see it in the actions ng mga characters. Even kay very reluctant Gamma 1. So, pero si Gamma 2 really takes the cake. Tapos may mga ano siya, alam mo yung, gusto ko yung part doon ng character niya na nagpo-posing sila, tapos kino-convince niya si Gamma 1 na parang sige na mag-posing ka na dito. Tapos, pero sila yung side comments, parang side dialogue na sila.
Oo, hindi siya yung nakafocus eh.
Oo, pero habang umiikot yung dialogue na yung scene na yun, nakikita mo sila sa background na nagpo-posing siya ng gano'n.
Tapos nakaganon na cross arms lang si Gamma 1.
Ayaw niyang naka-esports post lang siya, tapos si Gamma 2 forma na gano'n.
Alam mo,
pero ang ganda nung ano nila. Sige, Piccolo naman, parang it's about damn time that Gohan's dad gets something meteor. I actually saw post kanina on Facebook nga na parang yung si Goku, yung mga ultimate forms nila. Tapos may mabait na naglagay na nung bagong forms ni Piccolo tsaka ni Gohan. Parang, thank you. Hanapin ko yung share ko yun. Pero sobrang nakaka-touch din na at least, di ba?
Yeah.
Hindi na si Goku and Vegeta show anymore.
Exactly. Kaya parang nanibago ako in a good way. Especially as a Gohan fan na parang sila yung center stage for this movie. Like, finally. Lalong-lalo na for Piccolo. Tsaka it's funny na you mentioned Gohan's dad kasi totoo naman eh. We're going to go into spoiler town na rin siguro.
Go. Sige, spoil away.
Okay. In the climactic fight, di ba? When Gohan finally had his final form, which is, by the way, called Beast Gohan or Gohan Beast, depending on what region you're from.
May nakita ko Gohan Blanca. I don't know why it's Blanca. I don't know.
At this point in time, no, basta yung the bigger your hair, the stronger you get. Diba? So at this point, the chosen move that he used to kill Cell Max, parang battery, to kill Cell Max was yung signature move ni Piccolo. Not the Kamehameha. Yung dad niya. Kasi tatay niya si Goku, alam naman natin yan. Pero he was raised and
deadbeat dad talaga si Goku.
He just goes off.
Sabi nga ni Yondu, di ba? He might be your father, but I'm your daddy. Parang ganun lang yun eh.
Exactly, ganun. Ganun nga siya. Ganun na ganun.
Too soon, Yondu. Rest in peace.
So parang yun nga eh. Parang ma-highlight yung relationship nila in this way. And then for Gohan to choose Piccolo's signature move over Goku's is super cathartic for me as a fan of Gohan. Kasi parang di naman siya pinalaki ni Goku. Si Piccolo yung nagpakalaki sa kanya eh. Di ba?
Yes.
That is true. Pero may tanong ako. Okay? I have 2 questions. First, as dads, anong masasabi niyo sa storyline ng movie na to? There's a lot of feels.
There was. Yes. Especially like kasi my son just turned 1 this year. So parang I'm a new dad. So para to see yung parang gets ko yung emotions ni Gohan na parang nalaman niya na kidnap yung anak niya. I'm pretty sure Earl will understand it also as a dad kasi parang yung biglang nag-super saiyan siya. So wala siyang pakialam doon sa tao. Lahat kinakalimutan niya. He goes off to rescue Pans. I would, if I, given that I had those powers, gagawin ko rin yun. So, manggugulpi lang ako ng tao.
Oo, true.
You know?
Tapos at the same time, sa akin naman din, yung marami akong levels din ng layers. I'm an onion when it comes to that movie. Pero yung first layer gusto kong is yung level ni Piccolo kay Gohan. Asian parent disappointment yung ginagawa niya ni Piccolo. Parang,
Totoo.
Ano
yung
yan?
pinuntahan niya sa opisina niya.
Ano yan? Bakit hindi ka nagpa-practice? Ano yan? You're the greatest fighter. Syempre, pero I tone it a lot down. Kasi syempre as a dad, gusto ko rin naman gusto ko rin yung the best for my daughter. So, parang, if I see na parang nagiging complacent ka, you have to get back to what you're doing. The same time, yung worry na pag nangyari yung sa anak mo, matataranta ka, you drop everything that's you think was important. It's relatable. Tsaka yung tender moments ni Pana lumilipad siya na yung pag gano'n niya biglang ending siya kay daddy, parang
yeah.
I was actually tearing up a little bit. Oo.
Yeah.
Parang I had to go home. I need to get back home na. I need to see my daughter. Parang gano'n na yung dating.
Hindi ako makarelate eh.
Hindi ka na
Anyways. Pero this next question, makarelate ako. As toy collectors, na-inspire ba kayo bumili ng figures after this movie? Kasi yung para sa akin, that is a sign of a good movie.
I mean, like, you already saw who my guest was, diba? I mean, like, obviously, kasi before this movie, before I even saw this movie, I pre-ordered the toy. So,
Adik.
I love Gohan.
Ako rin actually. May pre-order. Hindi ako pre-order. Nag-order ako ng Goku tsaka ng Vegeta.
Ako, kahit gusto ko, yung space ko, wala na ako mabagyan.
As we can see, yes.
Pero if it were me, hindi ako mag-SHF. Siguro I'd probably pick the figurize, the build ones, the model kit ones. I like it.
So, ang ganda rin ng possibility nun. Like, seriously.
Siguro if they drop the, yung yung form nila na monkey form, yung super big form nila. When they come out with that, yun, I will buy that siguro. Wala akong
palagay. Kasi gusto nakita namin ngayon, you have
pag
like
nakita niyo ako nag-post ng
lot of toys.
Kung nakita niyo ako ng for sale ng toys, ibig
sabihin, you're just making space for more toys.
Yes.
Ayos.
Which I should be doing soon.
My goodness. What? Sorry. Go.
Hindi, I mean, dadagdag ko lang kasi yung monkey na Vegeta, parang ang mahal niya. Pero after paglabas, parang napaisip, nag-check ako sa Shopee actually paglabas natin ng sinehan, nung screening, kung magkano ba siya sa Shopee. Tapos ipapadeliver ko na lang sa office para hindi halata.
Kaso lang, narinig na ng buong internet, nabibili ka. Yep. So, good luck with that.
You did not hear it, internet.
So, question, magkano ba?
Parang nakita ko dati is either 13 or nasa 20.
Grabe
na.
Ang laki ng mga budgets nyo, ha?
Hindi.
Wala akong high ground dito. I wanna buy Shenron. I want the dragon. So parang nakita ko may figure arts. Ang ganda.
Ang ganda nun.
Ang ganda niyang gawing backdrop eh.
Totoo.
Pero yun, that's how I know that I had a really good time with this movie kasi na-inspire ako bumili ng laruan para ma-recreate ko yung mga laban.
Hindi ka na-inspire, na-compel ka diba?
Nalason ka.
Nalason talaga.
Nakakatawa. Sinend ko kaagad sa'yo. Hinanap ko kaagad. Misha, bilhin mo na mura lang.
Hindi, pero look, it wasn't just us. Kita mo rin paglabas natin ng screening room, diba? People were doing the fusion dance. People were doing kamehameha in the lobby. It was fun. It was just fun. I think everybody enjoyed this. And feeling ko ma-enjoy din to ng audience. Kasi sa US, over the last couple of weekends, apparently, tinalo niya yung Lion movie ni Idris Elba.
I mean, Idris Elba can't go Super Saiyan. So would you expect him to win over, Gohan?
Like, kasi buhok niya kaya hindi niya kaya, ano ba?
Well, yeah.
And we have a classic Lion movie, hindi na natin kailangan si Beast. Sorry Universal, I love you. Pero there's the thing called The Ghost in the Darkness, period.
Yes! That is a good fucking movie. Michael Douglas. Ganda nun.
Period.
Yes. Pero in this movie daw, si Idris Elba punches a lion in the face.
Okay, now
Oh,
we have
okay, I'm watching that.
Diba?
Pero nakita niyo na ba, nakita niyo na ba si Idris Elba sumapak ng dinosaur?
Huh?
That's what you see in Dragon Ball.
Ay, oo nga.
That's what you see in Dragon Ball.
I'm sorry, Idris Elba. Yeah, that's right. Okay, bottom line, what's your final impression of the movie? Like, if you had to describe it to somebody, our producer is chiming in. Mai is performing the role of producer today, and she writes in, how dare you talk about Idris Elba without me? We're sorry, Mai. Dragon Ball to eh. There's no thirst portion today. Sorry.
Yeah, unless we talk about Bulma and Andre.
Sige, let's talk about that. There's a fan service. Bakit?
Oo nga eh, napaka-shameless.
Oh my God, may one particular shot sa movie na to.
Isa lang ba?
One particular out of many. Pero ito talaga, alam mong super fan service yun.
Money shot talaga.
Money shot eh. So, girl, would you want to mention it?
Parang hinahanap niya yung may hinahanap. Ano ba yung hinahanap niya? Yung pangtawag yata kay Wes. So, habang hinahanap niya sa loob ng Capsule Corp na office yon, yung cameraman, the great cameraman just zooms in towards yung butt ni Bulma for more than siguro mga 2 seconds or 3 seconds yun na nandun yung habang nagsasalita yung
tagal ng 3 seconds
Bulma.
Anime fans.
Oh my God. So, classic Dragon Ball, classic anime style.
Actually, it's classic Dragon Ball kasi di ba yung Dragon Ball na yung bata si Goku, they did a lot of dirty.
Yeah. Lalo si Master
Goku was an
Roshi.
idiot. He didn't know what was going on. Si Master Roshi talaga yung, okay.
Si Master Roshi yung alam mo may collection ng Playboy sa bahay.
Na nakalagay sa bag na naka-capsule na anytime pwede niyang i-pop up tapos babasahin niya ng dalawa.
Nagugulat nga ako, buhay pa siya. I mean, tanda-tanda rin niya. Tapos lagi pa siyang nag-nosebleed pag nakikita niya si Bulma. Buhay pa rin siya, no?
Honestly, yeah. Ang fun ng mga cameos dito sa movie na to. Ang fun ng mga references. Even the callbacks. Pero wild na ang dami nilang characters na naisiksik dito. As in, halos wala silang nilimutan. So, yeah, that was really fun. Final thoughts, gentlemen. What stands out about this movie for you, and would you recommend it? Earl, as our guest.
Yes, highly recommended it. Tapos, sasabihin ko, maganda siya kasi it's not the Goku and Vegeta show anymore. At finally, if you're a fan of the Dragon Ball series in general, not just si Goku and si Vegeta, you'll enjoy this. Kasi you get a peek into their lives, you get to peek what's in the normal day ni Piccolo, what's Piccolo like if he's a spy, and
best spy ever.
Sorry, dadagdag ko. And what's the stupidest wish that people in Dragon Ball Z or Super can make? You'll find out. Set 3 wishes. Isa lang ang nagagamit nilang may pakinabang, the rest for every time na ako collect, it always goes to something stupid.
Alam mo,
which is funny.
Natatawa ako kung gano'ng kahirap, gano'ng katagal na paghirapan na ibuo yung 7 Dragon Balls back in the day. Tapos ngayon, it's just the equivalent of a punchline.
Parang
nandun sila. Bakit? Nahanap nila last week.
Nandyan lang.
Parang Waze, parang kasi may Waze at Google Maps na tayo ngayon, 'di ba? 'Di ba? Sila gumawa meron. So, nag-evolve din. 'Yun.
Fine. Ikaw, Anjo, what do you think about the movie?
It's the best, no.
Wow.
No, just kidding. I would still pick Broly over this one.
Yes.
I would still pick Broly over this one. But you, as a long-time Dragon Ball fan, you guys should check this out, especially if you're fans of Piccolo and Gohan. Especially Piccolo, kasi talagang babad na babad siya. And then they really milked him for what he was worth. And ang dami talagang moments with Piccolo. Yung relationship din niya with Gohan, if you're a fan of Gohan, they wrote this movie for them. It's one of the best father and son movies I've seen.
Wow.
Kasi lang konti, I feel that we are very lucky as Dragon Ball fans kasi it's so easy for us now to watch all the movies Di katulad nung 90s na yung mga naglalabas sila ng non-canon Dragon Ball movies
Oo.
na pahirapan mahanap sa VHS tapes
Totoo
at sa
yan.
bentahan.
Kasi hindi
Tas
mo alam
kung-
kung alin doon yung mga una.
Hindi mo alam hindi mo alam yung backstory. Bakit
Oo.
yung Bio Broly? Bakit sino ba si Broly? Ano tong Android 7, Android 19 ba yun?
O si
Yung
Frieza. Si
Oo.
Kula.
Si Kula.
Kula, di ba? Parang at least we're very lucky now, di ba?
Alam mo, sinabi ko rin kay Misha to before we watched this movie. Sabi ko, the last time I remember watching a Dragon Ball movie sa cinema was yung Return of Cooler. Si Kula. Sa Robinson's
Oo,
Galleria
oo.
pa yun. Parang yun lang yata yung alam kong Dragon Ball movie na pinalabas sa
Robinson's
theater. Yeah, wag na natin i-count yung American version. Yung
Oh my God! Pinanood ko yung Dragon Ball Evolution sa SM North. Ang sama.
Piccolo na puti,
Si Spike
Goku
ng
na
Buffy.
puti.
Ang sama.
Cute naman si Chi-Chi. I mean, pero,
Not enough to save the movie.
Yeah,
Nothing could save that movie. 7 Dragon Balls couldn't save that movie. Ang pangit talaga.
whether the regular Earth Dragon Balls or Namekan Dragon Balls couldn't save that movie.
Oh my goodness.
Ah.
Well, for me, based on everyone's feedback, kailangan ko panoorin yung Broly movie that came before this. I apologize na hindi ako nag-review. Pero kaya rin, it struck me, this film, na you can enjoy it just as long as you remember the basics about Dragon Ball. Or if you're not current on the new seasons or on the new movies, you're still gonna have a good time. At sobrang na-appreciate ko na part siya ngayon ng canon. Hindi kagaya dati, kagaya na sinabi ni Earl na you had like 18 movies that had nothing to do with anything. Honestly, halos. So it's only like the last 3 now, including Superhero, kung saan may continuity, kung saan re-reference nila yung mga nangyayari sa series. And na-appreciate ko yun. I mean, now I really need to know bakit friend nila si Broly. Pero sige.
Just watch Broly if you want to know why.
Oh, yes.
Oh my God, I need to know. And kaya rin masaya sa akin yung pag-apply nila ng 3D animation with mix and match with traditional because yun nga, it's nice to see the franchise is evolving, kagaya na sinabi niya kanina, but it's also nice to see na hindi nila kinakalimutan where it came from. So parang it's rewarding for old-time Dragon Ball fans like the people in this podcast. And it's also nice na it's something exciting for new fans to pick up. So yeah, I really think that everyone should go see this movie. Watch it on the biggest screen you can. Masaya to, guys.
Ay, pero clarify ko I said Dragon Ball is evolving. I did not say Dragon Ball Evolution. Okay?
Never watch Dragon Ball Evolution. Never watch
doesn't count. That doesn't count.
live action.
Oh my God. No, it doesn't count because it was made in America.
Alam mo, parang nightmare scenario ko yun. Like, if some streaming giant decides to make a live-action Dragon Ball adaptation, tapos sabihin nila super faithful naman to.
Oh my God. Di ba parang may gumawa, alam ko back in the 80s, parang yung Golden Harvest Productions gumawa rin ng kanilang adaptation.
Napanood ko sa VHS yan. Naalala ko yan.
Live-action na Dragon Ball.
Sa ACA.
Bad.
Oh my goodness.
But watching it as an 8-year-old kid, I didn't care.
Basta tao. Dragon Ball, pero tao.
Oo, totoo to.
And they're speaking Chinese.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Thank you so much, Earl, for joining us today. We hope you had a good time. Nag-enjoy kami walking down nostalgia lane with you, talking about Dragon Ball Superhero. It's in cinemas, and for sure it's going to be on Crunchyroll, courtesy of the good people at Columbia Pictures. Thank you, everyone who helped make this screening possible, and we look forward to the next one. Earl, where can we find you online?
I'm all over the place, but it's just look for the Fanboy SEO or Fanboy SEO. You'll probably see my post. You probably liked my post before. So yeah, that's it. That's just it. Facebook and Twitter.
Nax, influencer talaga.
No.
But thank you for joining us. This was fun geeking out. Ang
It
saya.
was fun, guys.
Thank you. It
for
was a blast
inviting me,
having you.
And thank you, Colombia. Masarap yung food nyo. Parang...
Yes, thank you, Colombia.
Thank you to our friends. Thank you to our friends at Columbia Pictures Philippines for hosting us.
Beka naman, poster.
As for us, we are the Sub-Auteurs. Check us out on social media. We are on Facebook and Instagram at Sub-Auteurs Podcast. We also have a Facebook group, Sub-Auteurs We Like Movies. Until next time, we are your hosts. I'm Misha.
I'm Anjo.
And we'll see you at the movies. Have fun, guys. Please watch Dragon Ball. Ang saya nito, guys.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Sorry, kailangan ko lang
Push mo yan. Yan yung play natin sa end credits.